Abdullah ibn Mas'ud.
I had just left school and returned home. I quickly ran up the stairs. I knocked on the door. My mother must not have heard. I leaned on the buzzer. I didn't take my hand off at all. Finally, the door opened, but my mother was clearly angry.
Son, I think you forgot your finger on the buzzer.
I rang it long, in case you didn't hear.
You'd have to be deaf not to hear this buzzer. I was praying, my child.
Must be the Tarawih prayer, dear mother. I've been outside for minutes.
Silly. You didn't even let go of the buzzer. A person should have a little patience.
I'm sorry, mother. I didn't think.
Come on in. Wash your hands.
Straight to the kitchen.
Yes, straight to the kitchen.
What's for dinner, Mom?
I made you a raw meatball wrap. We'll eat dinner tonight when your father comes.
My favorite. Bless your hands, Mom.
I finished my homework, went to the kitchen, and ate my wrap. Tomorrow, the Quran recitation competition auditions were going to be held at school. Even though my voice wasn't very beautiful, my teacher liked my pronunciation. It was worth practicing. I performed my ablution. I sat at my desk and started practicing Surah Ar-Rahman. I was so absorbed that I didn't even notice my mother and father listening to me at the door. I was embarrassed.
Did you hear my crow-like voice?
No, my son. MashaAllah, how beautifully you recite. We were very touched.
I'm preparing for tomorrow's competition.
If you want, we can listen to a few reciters together. Maybe you can catch a melody.
Really?
Of course, really.
My father and I listened to many reciters. I worked hard to form a melody. When my mother said my grandfather had arrived, we took a short break. I told my grandfather about the competition and Surah Ar-Rahman. He asked me to recite. He wiped his tears as he listened.
Now I need to pray, my grandson. After the prayer, I have things to tell you. Complete your preparations. This surah reminded me of a special companion.
I was curious. How could I continue practicing with this curiosity? I left the Quran and lit the candles in the living room. I took a short nap until my grandfather finished his prayer. When I opened my eyes, my grandfather was in front of me and had already taken his place on the sofa. Then my grandfather started telling the story.
In Mecca, Muslims were weak. They were being persecuted. Therefore, they could not practice their religion openly. One day, the companions were reciting the Quran among themselves in Dar al-Arqam. One of them said, "We have never recited the Quran to the polytheists." Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, "I will recite it. Right now, the leaders of the Quraysh are in the courtyard of the Kaaba. I am going there now." His friends tried to stop him, even though they said, "You have no relatives, they will oppress you greatly." They could not make Abdullah ibn Mas'ud listen. Abdullah arrived at the Kaaba. He climbed onto a mound and began to recite Surah Ar-Rahman.
الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان.
Realizing the situation, the polytheists rose up. They began to beat Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. And what a beating! They bruised his face and eyes and kicked him on the ground until his friends came and rescued Abdullah. They immediately brought him to Dar al-Arqam. They cleaned his face and eyes. When Abdullah came to his senses, he repeated these words that have not been forgotten for centuries.
By Allah, if you wish, I will recite the Quran to them again tomorrow.
Because I had never seen those big men become so small before.
With the last sentence, my grandfather stood up and quietly walked away. This was his habit. Whenever he told of a hero, he would say the striking final sentence and leave. And we would keep thinking about those sentences and make interpretations. I used to know Abdullah ibn Mas'ud as the scholar of the Qur'an. Now, I see that he was a true superhero who shouted the truth to those polytheists.
Abdullah ibn Mas'ud.